Okay, Christopher Peaks here today with Brandon Mosley for our BCS State of Alabama podcast, and we have the 2022 Democratic nominee for governor here in Alabama and candidate for the 2026 nomination, Yolanda Flowers. How are you today, Yolanda?
I am wonderful. I am so good.
Well,
I
thanks for
think I
coming on.
probably let me. Okay, is that better?
Mhm.
Okay.
So, my first question for you is why do you want to be governor?
Because I want to take Alabama out of this stigmatized what you got word of called being called backwards. Okay. It's been noted that Alabama has not changed in terms of, and it's just so many um, inequalities. There's so much of that going on. There's discrepancies in terms of dishonesty and disparities. It's still taking place here in this state. Anytime you have um, a government that overlooks the poor and the needy, those who are disenfranchised, it needs to be fixed. We need people in that loves the state.
Um, Yolanda, last time you took on, an incumbent Governor Kay Ivey, and love them or don't love them, the people of Alabama are loyal maybe to a fault. So, they were going to reelect the governor. They probably would have reelected me as governor. Um, Now you're going up against Tommy Tuberville, who, I mean, by all the polling and all accounts, may be the most popular politician in the history of Alabama. Um, is this more challenging than last time, or do you think you've got a better shot this time around?
It's going to be more challenging, I do believe. I've been dealing with, I guess, for the past couple of years, I think, but in particularly this year, of it's like a heaviness. Okay. And I'd say that he is popular because of the president. He's loyal, a man that really doesn't like people. A man, and I have to be honest, and he may send his own up to Washington, but I just don't care. Um, so we know, and that's not good. That causes an imbalance when you want to place all of your loyalty and love on a particular person who means you no harm, a person who is chaotic by design. And therefore, it just makes it more chaotic here in this state. But I'd say it's going to be more challenging because I'd be dealing with that type of spirit. And we need to get rid of that type of spirit. And it's not conducive, it's not good for no one here in this state because we have more poor, more marginalized. It doesn't matter with the color, but we are all marginalized. We have here, you and I, we are senior citizens, okay? Yeah, senior citizens, but we are being overlooked. Yeah, so I see a lot of that. And that would be challenging.
Yolanda, I remember when I was young, telling myself here, Bill Clinton got elected president. I think that was called the Year of the Woman. Had a lot of female elected. I remember Carol Moseley Braun was the first black female senator ever elected from Illinois. And hopefully, if you become governor, you don't happen to her, because remember she went to federal prison. But do you do you find as a black female, do you find it difficult to advance in politics? And what challenges do you feel like you have to overcome?
Yeah, I mean, I do not just being black, but being a female as well. There are not many females in politics. Okay, we're not there. We're not accepted by the norm, by the majority, which is what male men. So yeah, that's definitely going to be challenging. So I have more strikes against me than I do and would have against a white female. Okay, because of my race, or should I say ethnicity, since we are all, one race, but because of my ethnicity. If we can get past looking at a person's skin color and judging an individual based on their character, what they do, I think we'll be a better people all across the board.
Yolanda, last time, Democrats in Alabama, they talk a good game, but sometimes they don't walk the walk, in supporting their candidates. A lot of Democrat donors did not give to your campaign last time in the general. Do you think we're beyond, this, I mean, it's like the church. I mean, if you're going to build a church, the people at the church have to pony up the money to build the church or to build, to do an addition or whatever. And I think your campaign for governor only had like $15,000 raised in the whole time. You basically funded your own campaign. What are we doing? Are Democrats willing to step up and open up their pocketbooks for you or whoever the nominee is this time, or are they just going to be outspent 100 to 1 like last time?
That's $150 million question, okay? And I don't even have a cent to give you. We just have to wait and see. I just don't know. The Democratic Party. We're so afraid, okay? And FRAYED is what I'm saying. We're just, and because of that, and we're not coming together. My thing is, I'm hoping that I will get more support.
I mean, you were literally outspent $7.5 million to $15,000 by Kay Ivey, and Tommy Tuberville's already raised $6 million.
I know he has. And of course he's got corporations backing him up, and you have, I believe, I'm going to say this, and I haven't proven this, but then you also have more of the wealthy in the Republican Party. There is a dire determination to be the leading party or be the leader, regardless of who it may affect. Okay. But the money, we just have to wait and see, Brandon. That's all I can say. We'll just have to wait and see. I believe if we can get past, though, this domination in our party, one wants to be dominant instead of us coming together. If we can get past that being separated and coming together, we will be much better, So we know that having a whole lot of money, it's not gonna, it does work, but it's not going to be the deciding factor. I don't think. I believe the people need to vote. Yes. It's not going to be used for the greater good of all. So we just have to wait to see about the Democratic Party. That's all I can say. Sad to say, but that's all I can say.
When I was a kid, there really wasn't a big difference between the Democrat and Republican parties, and I think everybody in the state was a Democrat. Now we see the Democratic Party is there's schisms on the national and state level. What does it mean to be a Democrat today?
That's a very good question. That's a very rhetorical question. You have to think about that. I believe I believe that there are those who, because of the shifting that took place in during the Reconstruction era, um, how that those who were a part of the Democratic Party became they rolled over to the Republican Party. What they did, they took their same attitude, their same behavior, which was based on racial bias and slavery and all this thing. So that infiltrated the Republican Party, which at one time the Republican Party was a very good party that was for people. That party consisted of the abolitionists and who believed that all people are created equal and no one should be enslaved, and and that um, and that no one has a right to encroach upon someone else's rights because of the liberties of this country that's supposed to, be delivered. And that was in the Constitution by the founding fathers of this country. But when all of that infiltration, it's just like when you have a barrel of potatoes. Okay, you have a barrel of potatoes. One of those potatoes become rotten, right? And start stinking. And I don't know if you know what a stinky potato smells like, but it's just terrible. It's like a cesspool. And it's what it does, it just causes all of the other potatoes in that barrel to become infected. If you don't take that terrible infected disease potato out, then it's going to infiltrate, it's going to infect all of the other potatoes. But that's what happened to the Republican Party. Okay. So now, and it's kind of like reverse, that the Republican Party is infiltrated with a lot of magnitudes of thinking more is better than any. And now the Democratic Party is where the Republican Party once was, okay, for the best of the people. So the Democratic Party it still fights now for the well-being of all people, okay, the women, uh, the poor, the children, the rights, and they feel that no one's rights should be encroached upon. So when we think about that, I'm hoping that, like I said, there are those who believe in just what I said, that no one has a right to use of authority over another. And I believe that those few, which is few, it's not many, I still believe that we have some Dixiecrats and that's still in the Democratic Party. That's how I feel. Okay. Because what I do, I observe people and I watch and and the Democratic Party to me is an egalitarian type of party, should be. And I know it was, where they believe that everyone has equal rights. Okay. And that no one should be, their rights should be encroached upon or usurped upon. And that those few will be the ones who stand and that's so much like Christ. Christ was the egalitarian God. Okay, he was an egalitarian leader. He believed in the well-being of everyone. Okay, and I believe that those of us who are true Democrats who believe in the democracy, who believe in the good spirit of our country, who believes that this spirit, the democracy, which is a system, that it is what is supposed to run the republic, because America is a democratic republic. Okay, so when you have the republic, which is a body that consists of the citizens and the representatives, without the spirit, then that body cannot live and move. Y'all get it now? I probably went a little too far out, but that's what I've been teaching, and I want people to understand that. Until we get the understanding of it, we will not be able to come together and be victorious. As a whole state. as a whole state. And I believe, and I'm going to put that, and please put a pin right there, that even those who are saying that they're dire Republicans, they don't understand, or dire conservatives, they don't even understand that meaning of conservatism. Once we get that understanding, then I know Alabama will be better. I just believe that. We all have to come to an agreement, have to come together with an agreement of who we are and what we all want and need so that we can survive.
Yolanda, the legislature passed, and the governor signed the Choose Act that allows, families to apply to have their education dollars follow their child to either, a private school or a homeschool. I think we're in year one of that now. And, I think that's just $160 million, but that's going to increase over time. If you're governor, are you for keeping that and growing that, or do you want more of a top-down, state-centric program?
More of a top-down state
The state
centric,
schools.
like it was, like it's been. Uh, I'm not 100% for the Choice Act or the Choose Act, and I stated that with my the previous run, that because of the monies that are being taken from the public schools, it's almost as if you're leaving them uncovered. Um, because everyone is not going to be able to travel or afford to travel to another school. And that's what I stated. Here I am in Birmingham, and we know that the city schools are hurting because we have those who are the parents are taking their children out and or putting them into the charter schools. In the charter schools, that money is following those children. And they will say that the charter schools really is a city school, and it's in the city, but it's not per se as a city school. The charter schools are not giving our children exactly what they need, a wholeness of the education, the system. But then here you can, as long as the money is not used to, how can I put this, to not supply or provide the whole educational spectrum. And I'm talking about the history in regards, especially in regards to Black history. As long as it's being implemented and implemented right, not using Pratt University to water down Black history and any other history, then it just may be okay. It may, and that's a big may. But all in all, I'm not quite pleased with that. I'm really not. I'm really not. I hope I
Yolanda, it
answered
seems
your
with our
question.
it seems with our other two Democratic candidates, the big issue is marijuana. What do you think is the most important issue that the state needs to address?
I think the state needs to address, poverty, education, and Medicaid expansion. I mean, my dream is to be able to, for all the citizens to have free health care. We're taxed. My question is, with all of the taxes, we're being taxed locally, county, state. We're taxed on everything, water, food. That something needs to be free. Something needs to be free. I was reading some of the Constitution and how long we've held on to this 4% tax on food to fund this, fund education and things. And I know all of the education is not funded based on that, but but we are paying property tax and all this. But so those are some of my biggest issues, along, of course, with the prison. It's just being the same, hasn't changed. But I would love to see Alabamans have received free health care, good free health care, because we're putting in the money to that's been taxed from us. We're putting in the money, and we should be able to reap the benefits of what we have worked for and have paid for. Even if you pay, you're gonna pay taxes on a stick of gum or a pack of gum. That's taxes, and everyone deserves that. That free medical health care. We deserve that.
Yolanda, Governor Ivey and the legislature, since the last time you run, have decreased the grocery tax from 4% down to 2%. Do we need to go ahead and knock off that other 2%, or do we need to be wary that we might be cutting taxes too much and potentially decreasing government services or something,
We need to knock it on out. But to make things a little balanced, it also in the platform last time, I've stressed how important the lottery will be for our state. Everyone around us has the lottery except for Alabama. Okay. And the lottery, and I am one that benefited from the lottery. Okay, when I lived in Tennessee. Now, born and raised here in Birmingham. Okay, and I left at the age of 17 to attend school in Tennessee. But I was able to benefit from the lottery. And I can also attest to the fact that in Tennessee, the areas that I lived in and traveled, they're always doing construction on the roads. You don't have to worry about sewage gurgling in your yard. Okay. It's just infrastructure is so important. And along with that, education. We could take care of all that. We wouldn't even have to have tax on our groceries. And that needs to come down if the leaders here would just go ahead and pass it. I know we're in the Bible Belt, but come on now. Everybody, even some preachers, go and play the lottery, and they have to be, admit to that. So the lottery will be very beneficial, and that will help bring in jobs. It will help the infrastructure. We won't have to worry about when it rains, flooding everywhere, because construction, we'll have the money to construct the roads, to reconstruct the roads and repair them. And, so it's a win-win. And that's why we are Baptists, okay? We don't want to see the futuristic of things that can happen that is good for our state, to turn it around. So we need to get rid of the 2%. Just knock it on out.
Yolanda, you're talking about the healthcare and taxes. If we knock out taxes like food or tax, where do you plan to get the revenue to pay for the healthcare at?
You have the lottery. The lottery can go. We already paying taxes. Why we can't use that? The lottery can be used for many things. Okay, and I know we'll be contending against the what you call the Poach Creek Indians and all. I know that I'm part of that. That group as well. I am, according to my mom. My parents are well. So I have a little bit of several ethnicities in my bloodstream. But I know we are contending. We will be contending with that. But we have to consider the whole state, the livelihood of the whole state. So the lottery will help even in that. And we have now, I have to put this now, and I know we have what you call the big dog in the insurance, that's Blue Cross Blue Shield, that is fighting against getting the Medicaid expansion. So research says, and so that's a fight right there. But I believe if us as citizens, if we stand up and fight for our rights with this information that I've just imparted, we can get it. We can get it. We can get it.
Yolanda, the years from like 2020 through 2024 in our major cities were some of the most violent, that we've experienced in America. I mean, I think Birmingham set the record for the number of murders. Was that in 2024? Yeah, 2023 or 20. I mean, all those 4 years were just really violent. Here in Montgomery, the state of Alabama, sort of they and the sheriff's department formed like an urban crimes task force, and we had helicopters flying overhead and, state vehicles. I mean, here, you know, pulling people over, making sure they weren't out here, doing mischief. Of course, the president has sent National Guard troops into Memphis and, Washington, D.C. and Baltimore and some of these places. Do we need more of a heavy-handed approach where, hey, yeah, you're going to get a policeman or a guardsman on like every street corner in like Birmingham and Montgomery and Mobile to kind of deal with the crime issue, and like, hey, you're in the gangs, we're throwing you in prison.
One, I think when our Governor Ivey signed that bill for free gun carry, I strongly believe that was the worst thing that could ever have happened. One of the worst things. Another bad thing, I think, was to allow so many of the guns to be put into the hands of our just children, period. It didn't matter. It doesn't matter if they were white or black. And I've also stated that the age should be raised to age 21 as opposed to 18. The NRA is a great big factor in this thing when it comes to these manufacturing of the guns and all, upholding that amendment to the Second Amendment. We're not in war, and I know we have a right to have possessions. We're not in war. We don't have to hunt for food. But yet, and I don't think people are realizing or hearing themselves about now. It's kind of like because of the free gun carry and the mental illness that is taking place in our whole country, we have to really monitor where these guns are being sold and who's purchasing these guns, whether it's underground, if it's wherever they get it. We need to have a better track of what's taking place. So it is something that hasn't come up overnight. We've been dealing with this since Ronald Reagan has been president. When he ran, he endorsed the NRA, okay, or allowed the NRA to endorse them. And he just went on with that, and it's been widespread. And this right here, because of that, it has opened up the door for more violence to take place, for wars, within communities. Yes, the gangs. Where before was probably just knives and sticks and, like it was. But I see our country going into that civil war to become a civil war. Why? Because of, we have unscrupulous people. We have people that just uh, capitalism. We have a lot of that going on, greed, and folk want to have dominion over others, and it's just all it's just a whole domino effect of all that has taken place. So the crime, I can't see the crime going down. I see more killing uh, that is happening. And I know they say that, people are afraid, that they may uh, um, be arrested. They're talking about here what has taken place in Washington about there less car thefts going on, and you know, so a presence to see not so much as the army, but to see our police officers, the presence of our police officers, it does help to see them patrolling our area. But on the same, I guess you can say in the same token, we have to make sure that our police officers are well trained and that they know not to shoot a person in the back. I mean, there's a way a long time ago you could just shoot them in the leg and they can detain them, they can stop them from running. But now when a individual run, they shoot them in the back, and it's just it's not good because it's not properly planned, and it's not planned to protect the people and bring order. It's planned to destroy and to bring fear. It's not like it was when I was growing up. I'm just saying. It's totally different. Can't trust a police officer now, right? For real. So it's a lot of that going on. So
Dylan, I got a tough question for you. I heard this the other night. And even though I've not heard or talked to them and got this quote, another official told me that, there's a schism in the Democratic Party in Alabama, and that Doug Jones, Senator Jones, and Tabitha Eisner wanted to see more white candidates run as Democrats. How do you feel when you hear something like that?
well, there's always been a schism. Well, okay, so you have Doug Jones against uh, Dr. Reed, and I mean, it's like whites against black. It's just crazy. That's what's going on, and I don't know what to say about that. It's just that's what's going on. It's just going on, um, and that's what's causing things to be the schism. This was causing the schism. That's why it's frayed, because we're not coming together and sitting at the table and discussing. Even if we have to say, I'm sorry for what I said. I mean, it's just, how can two walk together except there be an agreement? I just quoted scripture right there. You can't. So long as the one party, one side of the body is saying, well, I'm going to go left, the other side saying, I'm going to go right, then you just divide it. And I don't know what to say. They just need to come together. That's all I can say. That's the only way the Democratic Party. See, that goes back to what I also said, that talking about the division in our party, how afraid we are, not afraid. There's some fear there too, but we are afraid. Um, and when you have all of these factions, we cannot be a whole. And that's what's causing a lot of this unrest and unsettling that's going on here.
Yolanda, during the last legislative session, the legislature passed and Governor Ivey signed HB 445, which made smokable, psychoactive hemp products illegal, messing up with a lot of these, little hemp stores, uh, all that's now being regulated by the ABC. and it limited the amounts. You know, you can't bring stuff. Home delivery is now illegal. Were we wise to clamp down on the hemp? Had that become a problem, or was that overreaction by the state?
You know what? Everybody wants to make money. I mean, you got people that sell dirt, people sell water, and all this. I said, okay, in my first run, that marijuana, because I think you, Chris, mentioned about marijuana. Marijuana should it's an herb, okay, and that the problems that we have with that, I mean, and this is an herb that we should be able to, we can raise in our own garden, just like you do parsley or, you know, oregano or anything, you know, valerian, you can raise in your garden. But what comes and make it so damaging and destructive is the lacing with the chemicals and all. And people, like I said, wants to make capital off of destroying people. So all we had to do was just keep it simple. And I'm just saying all you had to do was just listen to Miss Flowers and just allow people just to raise their marijuana, which is a natural herb, which would take care of you. I mean, I mean, I don't know if you have heard of the herb valerian. Valerian is a sedative type herb. It stinks. It stinks like marijuana, but it will calm you. It would, all the herbs God gave us is for the medicinal purposes. It's good for the healing of the body and of the soul. Okay. So
Marijuana help us know.
I mean, it really is. It really is. But that's the damaging thing comes when you're lacing it and putting it with all of these chemicals. That's what's causing people to, I mean, they're selling gummies and all this. Okay, cause hallucinations and people just, you know, paranoia and all other kind of health issues. You were laughing, Chris, but I'm so serious.
No,
I,
I'm so, you know, I've had a gummy or two before. I mean,
okay, you had a gummy too, and
once
now
in a
we
while.
have mushrooms, all these things. I mean, if you want to die, if you want to get high, all you got to just pull it up out of the ground. You know, it's there. You don't have to lace it. I mean, vaping, all of that stuff is damaging to our anatomy. We are not supposed to put all of those things into our body when God has given us what we should have and what is good. Like I said, for the body as well as for our spirit, our soul. It's good for us. But man has made it, and it is harmful. It is harmful. So, not listening to Miss Flowers, what I said before, that's why all this is happening. I'm gonna tell you a little story. We experienced my granddaughter purchasing some from one of the little neighborhood convenience stores. Okay. We had to take her to the hospital. I mean, she was just like standing in the middle of the floor, don't know where she is. Okay. What a half of the little gum, a half. We had to rush her to the hospital. Okay. Until and they had to monitor her and make sure she didn't have seizures and all of these things. See, that's damaging. And yet we have all these hemp stores going, no, that needs to be, now if anything needs to be banned, that needs to be banned. Okay. That needs to be banned because it's affecting our children. And that's, I mean, and my granddaughter is 25 years old. Now, what can you imagine what would affect, how the effect it has on these little teenagers is 15 and okay, that little brain can't take that. Can't. When we was going in school, hey, we will spray. I'm telling on myself, spray some what is it? Paint. Spray paint and then sniff that. Be high as a kite, okay? Gasoline. Be about to kill ourselves. We did crazy things too, but we did crazy things because of
Yourself in
us.
paint.
We did. I did because when I was kind of smart. When people said, "Well, he had to go to the hospital because you just said this," I was like, "Oh, did I mess up something?" Okay, but I said, "Well, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that." So, but our children will do things. Okay, when you hand it to them like that, they're going to try it. They're going to try it. And we have to protect them. We're adults. We're supposed to protect our children at all costs.
Well, Yolanda, we've kept you almost 40 minutes. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Or Brandon, do you have anything else?
I would like
Nope.
to say if we just come together, we're going to have to be unified. And it is bigger than the Republican Party and the Democratic Party, what we're fighting. Okay. There is a spirit that is hovering over our nation and certainly over our state that we are going to have to combat. And it is greater than Republican Party or Democratic Party. It's greater than us. But you know what? If we come together in unity and unify ourselves, just come together, because I mean it's affecting everybody, everyone. The rich are gonna die just like the poor, okay? And you can't take a thing with you. So if we see this and see how important it is to take care of the poor here in our state, take care, make sure that our children are getting fed, make sure that our children are getting the good education, and stop sending them over to Mount Brook or Vestavia or Homewood and teach our children where they are, giving our teachers the incentive, giving them the wages that they need and the training that they need so that they can be effective teachers, and fund our police officers, bring in more and train them so that they'll know when to shoot, how to shoot, okay, and just do right. Our state, I tell you, we'll be the leaders. We'll be the leaders of the whole country if we do it Miss Flowers' way. And that's what Miss Flowers will bring. Just do it her way. Then we'll be a better, much better state. Much better state.
Thank you so much for being on with us today, Yolanda.
Thank you,
Thank you, Yolanda.
Brandon
I'll get this
and
loaded up.
Chris. Okay. God bless you all. Thank you again. Hope to
Yep.
see you again.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Good luck in your race.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.